What's going on, Monopoly family? Welcome back to the channel, back here on the kitchen table where we get to have these raw, unfiltered conversations that are vital for your success, progress and happiness. I want to just put out a reminder there for you guys, for those that feel like their life is put on hold, they're not really progressing, they're not moving forward, they're looking around and everything is just dull, nothing is facing them, even the things that are supposed to make them happy, it's not making them happy. Basically, they're looking at their life and it's not in the right direction and they're just depressed in general. Right? Period. Let's put it that way. So the reason why I'm making this video, guys, is because surprisingly enough, there's a lot of people that feel that way, especially when they hit a midlife crisis at an early age, even at an older age, and that's a real thing. When you hit a midlife crisis, you kind of feel like you're missing out. And in the age of social media, missing out has made it so easy. Not just missing out, but comparison has made it so easy. Where you look at somebody else on social media, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, and instantly you compare yourself. Especially when that person is your age. You say, how come this person is living this way and I'm not living that way? So you compare yourself and you look at your life and your life turns out to be shit, so you just kind of go into a corner and depress yourself and basically you don't taste life anymore. Now, I've been actually in that position before, and that's why a lot of you guys on Instagram, when you message me, and about 50% of those messages are from guys that kind of say, Zed, I relate to your older videos where you talked about your depression. And I put myself in that position single-handedly for the reasons that I just mentioned earlier. Now, sure enough, that was a good kind of thing for me because I actually got motivated. I got hungrier. And I changed my mindset. I changed the way I think about what I witness on social media and the people ahead of me in the game. And I started getting motivated. I started kind of changing my mindset towards it. But then there's other people that will feel some kind of envy, jealousy, and internal turned hatred, even self-hate at times. But that should motivate a lot of you guys out there. Because here is the solution to all of this. Just remember one thing. People ahead of you in the game, guys, their time came. They woke up while you were sleeping. I mean, sure enough, some guys might make it ahead of you faster, and other people have made it faster than me, in the past. And those are the people I used to kind of look up to in a way. But then that made me some kind of jealous in a way, because how come that person made it and I didn't, right? We're at the same kind of stage in life. But at the end of the day, their time came, my time wasn't there because I just woke up. Right? They were awake before me. So that's the way you need to view it today. And here's the solution if you feel like your life is just stuck in one place, it's not really progressing, and it's being halted. Well, you're not doing anything about it. That's why you're in that corner. That's why you're depressed. That's why you're currently under the ashes. And the time has to come when it's time to rise out of the ashes, guys. So start taking action, and start learning, start progressing mentally. Because that will actually distract you from what you're kind of experiencing today. Everything will be temporary. In your mind, everything you do today will be temporary. And that's the way I got out of that dark corner, guys. Because look, I used to work a 9-to-5 job. I used to be in that position. I used to take the bus to kind of, at one stage, to work and back, and I used to be in the bus and everybody doing the same thing and look at everybody else. Everybody has a frown on their face because they're tired, etc., etc. And look, I just said to myself, that's temporary, right? That's temporary. And at that stage, I was popping antidepressant pills. At times, I used to, when I got a car eventually to go to work, because my work would be in a different place, I used to pop antidepressant pills, and I would be driving and I'd be dizzy driving to work. But that was temporary. So the moment that changed was when I actually started using that life as motivation. I started using that life as motivation to push forward and progress forward. And that's what I started doing, guys. It's just mentally I started getting refurbished, right? Like you kind of just, you've had enough of all the lies, all the bullshit you've been told at a younger age, and you just have to be reborn in a way. And that's where you will spend a lot of time on self-development. I mean, even this video today is a distraction for you guys, and that's a good distraction. That's what I mean by distraction. So on social media, let's go back to social media. When you spend time on social media looking at social influencers and looking at people, even my Instagram accounts, guys, if you notice a social media account or an influencer that is making you unhappy, not directly, obviously they're not putting anything towards you, but just they're living a life, and that life is making you jealous or envious in a way, just unfollow. Even me, right? If I'm not motivating you, unfollow, period. And I recommend that. That's exactly what I used to do back in the day. Because you don't want to just be dreaming and supporting people's dream when you're not really supporting yours. You gotta support your dream. You gotta actually support your dream. And the way to support your dream is by taking action. Instead of just spending time on social media, browsing and liking and supporting other people and social influencers. I mean, social influencers are supposed to just influence you in a good way, even YouTubers, by looking at them and saying, I want to be just like this or better. And how do you expect to be better? Obviously by doing. And by doing, you'll get distracted. And you'll forget about your unhappiness currently in this life that you're living. Your depression, your envy's out the window, because now you just look at everything around you as temporary. Everything is temporary. This is not the final solution. You know, the final outcome is your success and you achieving your goals and dreams that you were supposed to achieve. And that's why you're unhappy in the first place, because you feel like your life is going in the wrong direction. And now that you've started acting and taking action on the dream that you have, that you believe will make you happy, obviously it's going to make you happy. Just the fact that you're working on it is going to make you happy. So what happens if you're actually in that position where you're taking action but you're not seeing any change? Right? What happens? I mean, I didn't succeed in my first try. I didn't. How did I feel about it? I was deeply embedded in the game that I didn't even feel like it was a failure. I was just deeply embedded in this because there was no outcome. As you know, guys, my motivation was through the roof. You probably don't know this. Obviously, my motivation is not the same as the one I had before, but I was hungry for it. I was starving for it, and you don't have to succeed at what this person that you're looking at has succeeded in. You can succeed at something else. Your goals and your achievements can be somewhere else, in another business venture. But at the end of the day, guys, it all leads back to actually taking action, being distracted all the time. And once you get distracted, and once you take action on a business idea, you'll be deeply embedded in the game that you won't even think about failure, even when it occurs. Because I said this before, the change is coming, regardless of what escalator you take in life. Because life is like escalators. You take the first one, you might fail, you go back down, you take the next one. You take this one, you might fail, you go back down, you take the next one. And in that process, you haven't looked back once, because the current life you're living is just temporary. It's temporary. Alright? So, gotta go. See you again for more videos. Hopefully that kind of got you pumped up for life. Appreciate you watching, guys. See you again. Smash that like button if you got some value. Follow me on Instagram for some motivation, because usually I share my thoughts over there every now and then in the Instagram stories. So hopefully that kind of motivates you and gives you some insight into how I think myself. Because like I said, I've been in that position previously and I know exactly what it's like. That's why I can talk about it freely without any hesitation. Although I slurred, but that's the way I do things. I always slur my speeches, long speeches. Your success is coming. Might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but I guarantee you it will be there for you. If you just continue on the right path, continue grinding, continue pushing, continue breaking through barriers. Your own environment might not be making you happy. You'll find a way. You'll isolate yourself, because now you're in the trenches, right? You're in the trenches now. When you're in the trenches, there's no looking back anymore, right? Peace and love, guys. Gotta go. Appreciate you for watching.